Weiss-Johnson, Weiss-Johnson, whoa, we're proud to be local and family.
Hi, Dennis Johnson from Weiss-Johnson here. I'm in a basement of a friend's house who they're developing their basement, and just wanted to do a few things in their home to make their heating system work better. So in typical basement, you have overhead heat runs like this. You have a heat run that blows air from the ceiling. There's probably 4 or 5 outlets in the basement. You're going to want them situated fairly close to the windows because that's where the most of your heat loss is, or your exterior walls. If you come over here, I just want to show you something quickly. So in my friend's basement here, we have a cold air return. Cold air returns suck the air back to the furnace and will help even out the temperature in that floor or that area of the house. In the basement, often you'll just see one of these grills in the ceiling here, if you want to look up. And because cold air drops, having it situated in the ceiling is not a good place for it. So what we're going to want to do is try to get it down to the floor level where where the walls are in the bedrooms, and trying to suck cold air off the floor in a common area in bedrooms. So what we're going to want to do is somehow I have to get air from here in the ceiling space, which ties back into this ductwork, and I'm going to want to tie something off of here into a stud space, and then use that stud space to transfer air from down here where the grill will be situated. It'll use the drywalled wall shaft to suck air up the wall and tie into this cold air return duct system. So we want to get the cold air off of the floor. We don't want to leave it in the ceiling. That's a very common mistake that people do when they develop their own basements. They don't put cold air returns in the bedrooms and common areas off of the floor. So that's how we're going to do it in their home, so that their basement feels warmer, cold air drops. We want to get that cold air off of the floor and keep the heat in the ceiling. What happens is your cold air will be sucked off the floor, and your heat will be sucked across from the ceiling and down and across the floor, and it works out quite well. Some people think the idea of putting heat down the walls and running down to the floor and hot air rises. We find that you're going to lose more air and volume of your air by running it all the way down the wall, that you just don't have enough air coming out at the bottom anymore. We really don't think it's a cost-effective way of doing it. So keep your cold air returns down at the floor level, where I'm going to be putting it in this bedroom, and probably another one on the side of the wall in the family area, and try to get them out of every bedroom if possible, and then adjust your heat runs accordingly. Try to keep them close to the windows, and if you need to add 1 or 2, it's always good to use a heating contractor like us at Weiss-Johnson. We'll come in and do all of this work for you before you drywall. And then we also have to call and get a duct alterations permit, which adds to the cost, but is highly recommended, so that when you try to sell your house later, that everything's been documented properly, so you have your permitting in place. Thanks for your time, and hope this helps you with your basement development, so that you can have a more even temperature in your basement, and that your basement isn't cold because you left your cold air return up in the ceiling space. Thank you.